Wike said he knows why Nnamdi Kalu is agitating for Biafra and he would like a roundtable discussion on this matter. If people say they are marginalized, call them to the table and let it be discussed. So guys, this was what Wike once said. Let me just allow you to take a look at this video.
So guys, could you believe that there's a video Wike supported IPOB that is going viral now, and I'll play it to you guys. But the shocking thing is that he said that he supports the agitation of Biafra, that he also supports that there is injustice in the southeast. Could you imagine that coming from Wike, a man that always feels like God? And then he said that he supported the IPOB. This is a video that is going viral. Let me guys watch that video.
They be a threat to me. Let me tell you, it is because of the division in this country today. We have never had this kind of country being divided this way. And that's why I see all this kind of agitation. You know, what pains me is people take politics to think that, oh, I want to use opportunity to fight this person. I want to ask everybody. And the day I will play it, Nigerians will be shocked. There came a time people, IPOB was singing praises about Wike. This Nnamdi Kanu or whoever were singing praises about Wike. Wike is our son. Is this. While I said, look, federal government, there's nothing wrong in people agitating. All is important. Listen to the agitations. What are they talking about? Sit down with them. Talk with them. Right? There's nothing wrong about that. I support the agitation. I support the injustice against the Southeast. Whether anybody likes it or not, I do. We should sit down on the table and discuss it. Not only that. Now, all these people who are shouting now, they support IPOB. Ask me, any of the aspirants, with all due respect today, let them come and tell me who came out to say, IPOB, I'm with you. IPOB, what you're doing is right. IPOB, wherever you go, I'm. And people now, you see, that's what I don't like in Nigerian politics. Everybody, because we're in an election, you want to take advantage. I read what they were saying that Wike said, I don't need IPOB. I don't need Southeast. After all, I'm with the North, I'm with the Southwest, I'm with the Niger Delta, I will win an election. Who is the Southeast? You know, you read some of this, you just laugh. The point I'm making, brother, whether anybody likes it or not, there is injustice in the country, that division in the country.
So guys, that was a surprise coming from Yeson Wike, the FCT minister. Could you imagine that him coming out to support IPOB? To me, it's a surprise. But I want to tell you guys that you see this government, they know exactly what they're doing. They know Nigerians more than you. They know exactly everything they're doing. They know why they're keeping Nnamdi Kanu in the custody. They know every single thing. It's just that they don't want to yield to the truth. And we under the courts have actually bailed Nnamdi Kanu since last year, but yet the government are still keeping him in custody, which I don't know the reasons behind that, but I know they have the ulterior motive for keeping him there. And there have been a lot of reactions on this issue of releasing Nnamdi Kanu for the Southeast. I'll play for you guys those videos, those reactions. You will hear the reasons why the government should release Nnamdi Kanu and let him go and not keep him in custody. Let me play for you this video first of all. Watch this video, guys.
So please consider the insecurity in the entire Southeast, and see, as a result of the insecurities as a result of the prolonged detention of Master Nnamdi Kalu, and see a way of releasing him so as to restore peace in the entire Southeast. That is the amendment I want to add. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, dear colleagues.
I think what the intention of Honorable Ginger was to find an amicable way of resolving the issue with regards to Nnamdi Kanu, and maybe urge, I think it should be amended to read, urge Mr. President to use any other diplomatic or political approach, granted that this is before the court, to find a lasting solution on this issue, because some of us who are from Southeast, we know where the shoe is pinching us, and we know what you can take out of it and there will be a healthy security situation in the Southeast. So I urge that the amendment will be to urge Mr. President to use political intervention, diplomatic intervention, asking for his mercy to release Nnamdi Kanu, to enable that zone to find a lasting peace. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Major priority area in the Southeast, which I think will cool off a great deal of nerves, is for us to bring out Kanu, that gentleman. Pull him out. Stop this incarceration. I know some of his pronouncements or maybe lines of actions and so on were offensive to the Nigerian state, and there was a need maybe to take certain actions. But you see, Nigeria itself is a family. That's my picture of Nigeria. When parts of the family feel offended, as a father, as parents, you sit the gentleman down, you sit the child down, and try to find out what are the problems. How do I help you? You don't like the Christmas shoe we bought for you? Okay, we'll get you a new one. Would that solve the problem? You don't like this meal? Can we fix another meal for you? Can we start talking with Kanu? Can we start talking with IPOB? Can we start talking with other groups? I think a conversation with some of these teams would go a long way in addressing the problem. We mustn't at all times apply the stick. Bring in some carrot at times. And let's see a carrot and stick diplomacy at play. Okay? We can do that. And I think if we do that, the Southeast, the situation in the Southeast will be highly doused, frankly speaking. Okay. All right? Further incarceration only make him more and more relevant, only heightened the heroship over him. He is a hero now, whether we want to accept it or not. And we made him the hero.
All right.
We have made him a hero in the Southeast. If he comes out now, he's wise, he can contest for governorship in any of the states. Nobody will be asking whether he's from that state in the Southeast.
Longer Nnamdi Kanu remain in prison, the more the cause he is fighting for is being flourished by his own detention. Tinubu is a president that came from the trenches. He is one of those who fought for democracy and freedom. And I believe, if not for the fact that he went to exile, he could have ended up in prison with us in the 90s. Then someone of his own stature cannot be lectured about democracy or human rights, because we are all in the trenches fighting. So my expectation is that the problem cannot be solved by keeping the leader of the struggle perpetually in prison. You don't solve the problem. You can only solve the problem if you discuss the problem.
I put the question to the governor during our media chat. I said, can you say with finality that the sit-at-home syndrome has been defeated? The governor initially didn't answer the question, and I put it back to him. I said, I asked you a definitive question, sir. Can you say with finality that the sit-at-home syndrome has been defeated, especially in the hinterland? Again, he tried to show me that, yes, progress has been made. Didn't you see people moving around? So I was worried because the Biafra Day celebration is a day like no other. But where a group that has been proscribed is telling people to go on holiday, the question you ask is, where did it derive that legitimacy from?
Yeah.
To tell people, no, today don't go out. We are celebrating, we are remembering our fallen heroes and all that. To make matters worse in this matter, Simon Ekpa, on his part, said the seat at home is not going to be for one day, that it will be from the 29th to the 31st of May. Now you can imagine keeping people in their homes, telling people not to go out for all those days.
Security and the violence that seems to have erupted in the southeast.
Well, what we are seeing in the southeast is synchronized violence. Synchronized by certain people. Definitely not by Igbos.
Okay.
Those people who are doing that are foreigners. If you see a group of Igbo people moving, from their physiognomy, you will know. Now, one of the things that people did in the southeast was to get close to them, speak Igbo to them, and without exception, they responded in broken English. And you saw the other man speaking on Sunday, being displayed by the police as the only surviving person among those who attended to burn the prisons again. The man was given an Igbo name. And when he spoke, he had a northern accent. But back to your question about what is really happening. In the past 2 years or more, the clamor for a president of Nigeria coming from the southeast has been on. And if you notice, up to the past 3 months, there was no problem in the southeast, 4 months. What happened? Suddenly, if you read some papers published in Abuja, you see Igbos are killing northerners. You call those in the south, they say, what are you talking about? It has nothing to do with any Igbo man or any northerner. What we are witnessing is a programmed action by some people to destabilize the southeast, indeed the whole of Igbo land, with a message, Igbo land is unstable. If you're unstable, how then can you produce a president? That is the real key in issue. The herdsmen have always been there. But if you notice, for the past 3 or 4 months, issue of the herdsmen had died down. Except in Ebonyi State, where up to last Sunday, the herdsmen were still killing people.
But we cannot deny the fact that these destruction and arson attacks are taking place in the southeast region on security formations, on electoral body, INEC offices, and of course killing of the security officials themselves. So the question is, how does this make a call or a point for, or an argument for inclusion? If you say marginalization and inequity has been, the reason for this clamor, and some will say for the clamor of cessation, how do these arson attacks and killings and destruction make a point for inclusion? And who stands to benefit from these attacks? Why have they not gone? Why do they continue to recur, in your own opinion?
First correction is this. Who is doing the destruction?
Exactly.
Who is attacking police formations? Who is attacking the INEC? If you notice the targets, election conducting body, security body. In the first place, Igbos are not destroyers. Igbos are builders. Since the end of the war, the federal government has not been building police stations in the Igbo land. Every structure you see there, apart from the old prisons in Owerri, which was built in the 1950s, is the result of the contribution of people. I'll give you an example. I come from a Himemba, local government of Imo State. Recently, the police divisional quarters was destroyed, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. What most people don't know is that building was built by the community, Nso community, and donated to the police last December. So why will the people who built turn around to destroy? For what purpose? The average Igbo man knows that those who are doing the destroying are not Igbos. The special squad of security men sent by federal government are also not Igbos. Okay. So it's a case of the policemen will come, shoot into the air, stray bullet will land on people. And then the unknown gunmen will move around in brand new Hilux trucks. Shoot into the air, with faces covered. Once in a while, people will get close and do like this, and then they take a closer look at them.
So if you say the Igbos are not destroying, who then is carrying out these attacks?
The unknown gunmen. It is not by accident that they call them unknown gunmen. That's why I said, if you go to Alaba today, there's an Igbo section If you see there, from the physiognomy, you say these are Igbos. If you turn towards the right, you see Alabarago. That's where the house traders are. You also see their physiognomy. If I go to Jankara Market here in Lagos, you don't need to be told these are Yorubas. So if the unknown gunmen cover their faces, once in a while, people go, they speak Igbo to them, sing in Igbo, they won't even respond.
This is quite a strong...
It is a revelation.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem they have now in Igbo land is that if they see somebody of my age, they will go after me. Police will arrest me and call me a financier. If they see my son, they will grab him and say he's an activist. Send him to the police station, military barracks, or anywhere. You have to run around to get him out. And you know what it means to Nigeria for someone to run around. I don't mean real race. You have to do something. Otherwise, you see him on TV the next day confessing to things he did not do. Because when they torture you, you have no option. And remember, Archbishop Obinna, the Archbishop of the Catholic Diocese, last Sunday came out almost weeping that the morgue where they keep dead bodies, that place is overflowing, 35 unidentified bodies. The Nigerian Bar Association came out and said, we have set up a unit to liaise with the police commission. That's how they have been able to rescue some people, including the man who came from Bayelsa, who was going to buy a casket for his father-in-law's burial. The one was grabbed and displayed on TV as a high-ranking chief.
Permit me to just interject, because you're making strong assertions, and we wonder why this hasn't come to light in a more public forum. But let me just ask, what we do know, though, is that there was a... I'm glad you said you're from Imo State. Yes. There was a sit-at-home order, and it would seem that largely it was obeyed. So that would then beg the question, who is in charge? You know, we want to bring up the issue of IPOB because they've made certain assertions. And then we want to ask the question as well regarding Imo State. It's hard to put this. There have been assertions by people in Imo State that since the current governor came into being, that Imo State hasn't known peace. So suggesting that his coming in as governor has also triggered some of these violent attacks. What's your take on that?
Let me take them one by one. Issue of sit at home. To observe a day for our departed brothers, those who died during the war, has been on since 1970. So it depends on the government of the day to make it a focal point.
No, I'm talking about how it was enforced. There was intimidation behind it.
No, there was no intimidation. Listen, what you saw was what we call a charade. Some people wear black and red and be moving around. You think the Igbos are not Igbos. That's the point I was making. The unknown gunmen are not Igbos. As for Day of Mourning, it's observed every year. You have seen the one of 30. September 9, some people will also observe their own. They don't make noise about it. They just call their own Yom Kippur. We call our own mourning our dead. 2, IPOB is what I call a phenomenon that has risen because of injustice, because of lack of fair playing ground, because of arrant discrimination. Now, nature abhors vacuum. So whenever there is this kind of lack of inclusiveness, grumbling will come in. All it takes is somebody to harvest that you're grumbling and say, this man is doing something bad. Let's see what I can do. Believe me, the average person will join. On the issue of the governor, I better leave it at that. Is the governor in charge of any security force there? No. If he says something negative, they'll go against him. You know where he lives in Owerri? It's called the fortress. On one side is Army Chief's house, Police Chief, DSS, Air Force. All of them live in a circle. And the police headquarters and the prisons that were just burned down, you just opposite them.
Okay.
CCTV showed all those who do the attacking. Do you know that till today, none of these groups I mentioned ever produced that CCTV?
And I mean, a lot of people watch will be wondering, why is nobody being brought to book? Where are the perpetrators? But in the absence of state police, we've seen vigilantes across the country, states having to form their own vigilantes, and as well as regional security. Same as the Southeast with Ebube Agu. They don't seem to be making much headway. What have the governors got wrong when it comes to security of their states and, of course, the region, Southeast in particular now?
Well, I don't want to call it intimidation from Abuja. I also don't want to call it timidity of the governors. No. Let me say it's a case of 3 political parties having governors in the Southeast. 3 political, PDP has 2. That's Enugu and Abia. Enugu has always had a Bibago. They have a name for their own, and they have bosses for them. Abia State, yes, its own is not as elaborate as that of Enugu. Imo State also passed a law a long time ago outlawing open grazing, and they also passed a law establishing a Bibago. But then the governor said he has sent some people to train the military barracks in Anambra State, so that when they come, they form the nucleus. Now, the man in Anambra also has his own. His own method is different because there are 3 parties. They have different methods. Abga said, okay, if you kill a cow, you pay. If you kill a human being, you pay. And they're enforcing it. So when you're talking of a Bibago to them, they may say we have something different. The man in Ebo, he has just joined APC. And he's also the chairman, so he's been drawn on one side. Unfortunately, his state is the worst hit by the killer herdsmen. Up till this Sunday, we are still killing. Now, the governors are also, well, I think they're handicapped. But remember this, there are killings all over the country, in all the zones. And in terms of number, in terms of statistics, Kaduna State has had more people killed or kidnapped than the whole of Southeast and South put together. Yeah, the IG of police, when he came, he said, I'm concentrating on Southeast and South. In other words, they know what they're doing. So those special squads sent to Imo State because of this crisis, are they putting anything together? Their job is to go and block the road. I saw them. I was there Saturday before last. For me to pass, all the roads were blocked in the city. For me to go to the airport, I had to call one man. When I noticed his less unfriendly appearance, I said, I just joked. He said he was an Ishan man. I said, Ishan Wayo? He laughed. He said, Ishan. I said, okay, Oba Tokwe. He said, he relaxed. He said, Oga, pass. That's how I was able to go to the airport. The next day, Sunday, Golak was killed. The insecurity there is there, but it's artificial.
Okay. You seem to be blaming, you seem to be blaming everyone else, particularly the federal government, except for those in the region.
Because we are not destroyers. The average Igbo man is a builder. That Owerri airport was built, started by this Ambaku, with people contributing 1 naira. Everything you have in Imo State was built by the people, not by the government.
Okay, let me just bring this in, because
my position was very clear, and that's still my position. The insecurity you have seen in the Southeast was imported because of where we are going now, so that they would demarcate people like us from the Southeast that we cannot be president because there is insecurity in our place. It was imported. And the difference from that time and now is that they have now been able to get some locals who are now doing this dirty job. As at the time we had the jailbreak in Owerri, those people were not Igbos. They were not IPOB. They were not ESN. I said it then, Google, you will see my position. But they have discovered that will be exposing them too much, those who did it. Now they have succeeded in recruiting locals, never-do-wells, charlatans, who have nothing to do, no skill, no education. They are the ones doing the killings today in the Southeast. So, and the intendment has not changed. The intendment is to demarket the Southeast so that every Nigerian will see how can you be president when there is insecurity in your place, as if that is the only place we have had such a thing, which is a new thing in the Southeast. What is happening in the Southeast is alien to us. It is not part of our culture. It is not part of our tradition. And somebody like us will have condemned it in its entirety. So let anybody take it the way he likes.
This is not our doing.
So, guys, you can see that even our politicians, they understand that the Southeast is being marginalized. I mean, the Southeast is being marginalized. And, you know, everybody knows that that is even the root cause of this agitation that we've seen. But the main problem is that, you know, we've not seen leaders who have managed this situation professionally. I mean, manage it well so that things do not escalate. That has been the challenge. Guess when Buhari came in, Buhari understands only military force. And that led to, you know, the rise of so many IPOB groups, ESN, and other violent groups who were ready to like challenge the Nigerian army. We all know how that ended. I mean, so many lives were lost. So many youths were lost. But you can see that even people like Wike, you know, they know that the Southeast is being marginalized and a discussion should start. They understand these things, and that's why when people keep wondering, why is that of Nnamdi Kalu different when it's all about, okay, the federal government is not taking care of us, let's be on our own. That's just it. We've seen how the Mieti leader, you know, was released from custody. Even Sowore himself, whom they charged him with treason and all that, they released him. Although Buhari was just trying to, you know, intimidate Sowore. But the Sowore has been released. Even Sowore himself has been saying, release Nnamdi Kanu. So guys, the problem in the Southeast can easily be solved if we really have leaders who understand what this struggle is all about. It's not going to be rocket science to even solve these issues. But when people begin to politicize it and make it sound as if, okay, a Southeasterner cannot become president because there's unrest in the Southeast and all that, that is never going to bring a lasting solution to the Southeast. So guys, I don't know what you make of this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.